Hey, welcome back. We are doing an episode in the middle of the week. What? What is wrong with us in the middle of the week? But it's okay.
On an evening.
Yes. On an evening. If I can push the right buttons here, I'm over here pushing the wrong button. Okay, now we're good. There we go.
Yes.
Okay. Is that better? There we go. Does that sound better? Yeah.
We sound like we're in a gym. Hello.
Is that better? A little better? Okay.
You sound better. Oh, wait, right there. Okay. Wait, no, I can't hear you.
I'm sure it'll be okay.
Man, we need to be able to hear you.
I'm just going with the flow today. It is what it is.
Let's see. I still can't hear you. Where'd you go?
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Okay. We're just going to leave it like that. It is what it is.
Oh, welcome to Wacky Wednesday.
Yes, Wacky Wednesday episode. There, you know what? That's what we should call it. Wacky Wednesday.
Wacky Wednesday.
I had another idea for the title, but let's just call it Wacky Wednesday.
That's what it is.
It definitely is. Definitely.
So I was going to say it's been over a week.
It has. You know what?
What?
We're going to get started with?
What?
Beetlejuice.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about it.
Okay. So I was actually invited, and don't get mad at me, okay? I was invited to the B&B theaters to their influencer night. They emailed me and told me that I could go take some guests, and go to it was a pre-release event for the movie. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, oh, I got to take my mom. My mom is a huge Beetlejuice fan.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I got to take my mom, and of course took the boys and everything. So we went, and you couldn't. So I was emailing back and forth with the lady and was like, so do I get tickets? Do I, give you my? She's like, well, I have your name, I have it down, and I have how many guests you're gonna bring. She was like, so, and I was like, well, what time do we need to be there? And she was like, oh, about 30 minutes before the movie. And I'm like,
30 minutes?
Yeah. And then she was like, but there's not going to be any trailers, nothing. So she was like, it's going to be straight to the movie. And I'm like, crap, okay, I'm trying to think about everybody's schedules, because it was during the week. It was last Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, okay, my sister gets off at this time, my mom gets off at this time, Paul gets home at this time, I'm just like figuring out everybody's schedule and how I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go up there during the day and see if they'll give me my tickets ahead of time.
Yeah.
That was a fail. She was like, no, we're not actually giving out tickets for the show. It's just first come, first serve. You get in line and then we'll just let y'all in. And I'm like, oh, that's even worse. I'm like, I'm like, okay. So then we get there. It was like 6:15 maybe we got there. And there wasn't a huge line. So I was like, okay, good. Look, we'll get good seats.
So once you got there, then you got to choose your seats?
No. Once you walk into the theater, then you, like the old days.
Yeah.
You
just walk in and sit somewhere.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it was like back in the day before you could do reserved seating. So I'm like, all right, we're here. So we get our food, we get our popcorn and stuff. And so we get in and we got great seats, in the middle of the theater. And it was in the Screen X too.
Okay.
And so it's 10 minutes before the movie. And I'm looking around and I'm like, there's not a lot of people here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like literally 30 people in the theater that sits maybe 200 and some.
Really?
And I'm like, damn it. I'm like, if they had shown trailers, I would have texted you, get your ass up here now to come watch. Because one, they weren't checking names.
Oh.
You just got in line.
Mm-hmm.
I just told the people at, where they take the tickets. I was like, I'm here for the Beetlejuice influencer premiere. And they're like, okay, go ahead. That's it. They didn't take my name or nothing.
I'm gonna start using that all the time.
And
for every movie.
And so I was like, dang it, I could have told Tina and your husband, they could have gone.
Dalen has practice on Tuesdays.
Yeah, the boys missed practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had baseball and soccer practice, and they missed it.
I'm like,
sorry
yeah,
to their
I would have
coaches.
too.
Yeah, but it was like I enjoyed it, but I think so. Paul didn't like it, but he was like, yeah, he was just like, you know. But this is what I'll have to say about Beetlejuice, in my opinion. I think you have to be a lover of the first Beetlejuice to appreciate the second one.
Definitely.
So yeah. I liked it, and then I saw that you guys went to go see it too.
Yes, I liked it. I feel like no matter what movie it is, the second one is never going to be as good as the first one.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, the first one was amazing. It was great. I love it. I watch Beetlejuice every year. And I like this one. This one was really good. But was it as good as the first one? No.
No.
But I feel like that's with any movie.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I loved it. I'll watch it again. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was definitely a good way. I'd never been to like a pre-release, and it was nice to be able to.
It was my first time there at that theater. I had never been. Yeah, I've never been. That's
so
why I did a whole
it?
TikTok. I liked it. You know, okay, so we went on Friday night, and for Friday night, it was not. I thought it was gonna be.
It hasn't been
crazy packed.
So I'll say this. I think that the theater has done a really good job of keeping people, the younger crowd, from causing it to go downhill, like to cause scenes and all that.
Right.
So it has not been as packed as what I thought it was going to be when they first opened up. So like we can usually go get movies, like we've been there several times, you know, but you know, I'm an ambassador or whatever for the theater. So, I get 2 free tickets every month.
I originally wanted to do the 4DX, but I purchased tickets too late, and all they had was at the very front, and I was like, absolutely not, no.
So what screen did y'all use, or did y'all see it on?
I don't even know.
Was it just the regular?
I believe so.
But one of the first ones? Like when you first walk in? Okay, so those are their grand screens. The very first one is the Screen X. And then the second one is just the grand screen, which is just a regular screen, but you know the sound is supposed to be like
So that's what we had. But yeah, I actually liked it. We got there like 2 hours early because I didn't want to hurry up, go in, get popcorn, get drinks, and go. I wanted to actually. We walked around. I mean, we didn't play any games or do bowling, but we walked around. We checked it out, and then we went outside. We sat at the bar. We had a few drinks, we got appetizers, and then we went into the movie. But I liked it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I posted a little TikTok video of the theater and the movie and everything too. So yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, really quick too. Nail check. We both went to go see Brittany. Well, you went to go see her before I did.
Yeah.
I went and got my nails did.
I like yours. They're cute. I was looking at them.
They're kind of simple. My sister was like, you don't have no bling on it. You don't have no designs, no nothing. And I was like, well, it's because I'm doing like tamales like constantly right now. And
you don't need someone eating tamales and be like,
Yeah, I can't, because I do everything from scratch. Like I can't risk any of the gems falling out or anything like that. Or
I'm missing some already.
Yeah, see.
Well, you did bling one year and made tamales, and none of them came off.
Well, I probably shouldn't have, just because I mean I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you trying to do right.
And the thing is, like, I wasn't selling as much as then as I am now. Like I'm selling constantly, which I have a funny story about selling tamales. Yes.
What happened? How did that go?
So Saturday, I went to my HOA. Invited me to, they were they were having a game night. And they invited a few vendors to go out and sell food and stuff. So it was me, this little girl selling like some lemonade, and then an elote truck thing, whatever. It was slow. I mean, I even had to like post on Facebook, hey, come get some tamales. I'm over here from 3 to 7.
Yeah.
So it was, we had traffic. It just wasn't as much as what I thought. I made like over 50 dozen tamales for Saturday. I was busy, and I had my sisters helping me. I'll give them credit. They helped me out. But there just wasn't a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
And then this cop pulls up I see the cop pull up, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's just gonna like, get some food or, say hi or whatever. No, this cop like has his lights on and sets up like a speed trap right there.
Way.
Yes. And this is in Glen Heights.
I was going to say, it looked like it was right by the police station.
Yeah. The fire station and all that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So he sets up a little speed trap. He's got his little thing. And I'm like, what an ass. And I'm like, this guy is setting up a speed trap, and people are going to think, he's there for the event, not seeing him, because he was tucked behind some trees. You couldn't see him.
And it's 35 right there. I know to go 35 right there.
Yeah, and he's taking off. He's pulling people over, like he's going up and down, and I'm like, he's such a jerk. I'm like so irritated. Anyways, so then we continue the event and everything, and then it's already getting like 6:45, I guess ish. Mm-hmm. Everybody's shutting down pretty much, and so I was gonna move the SUV and back it up so that we could load up and head out too. In comes the cop again. Well, he kind of blocked me to where I couldn't move the SUV.
Yeah.
And he's with his lights and everything again.
Oh my.
And I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like, what do you want? And I'm already irritated with him. And so he comes up to the table and he's like, what are y'all doing? What have y'all got? Y'all need any help loading up? And I'm like, no, we got it. We're good.
I need you to get the hell out of my way.
Well, and he's like, he goes, so what do you got? And I was like, oh, I've got some tamales and stuff. And we had already loaded up because I had some already prepackaged, the dozens.
Yeah.
We had already loaded those up. We were loading everything else up. And then I had like a warmer that I had singles in. That way people could buy a single to taste it.
Yeah.
Well, everybody ended up buying dozens. They would try the singles and they would come back and get dozen.
Yeah.
And I was like, he was like, well, what do you got? And I was like, tamales. And so I opened up the warmer and I had pork and chicken. Mm-hmm. And he was like, ooh, those look good, And I was like, yeah, I was at this point, I'm just like, just get one.
Yeah.
And
like, hurry up.
Yeah. So I give him a pork one, so he could taste. And he's like,
the sound of
yes. And he's like chomping away, and he's like, oh, you did your thing on that. And he was like, let me get a dozen. And so then he gets a dozen, and then immediately he's got the little thing, and he's like, Burr. So to just another, he's like,
acting.
He's like, where you at? And so he's calling another squad car. And so then he tells him something on the radio, and he's like, I got you some more business coming. And I was like, okay. And then he's back on the radio, and they're like back and forth. He's going back and forth between him and dispatch. And then before I know it, I'm surrounded by all these squad cars coming to get tamales. And I'm like, so then I'm starting to feel bad because I was calling this cop an ass because he was pulling, which I know is his job, but I just felt like the setup was like wrong.
You could have went somewhere else.
Yeah. So he did bring me a lot of business.
Oh, that's funny.
And my older sister, she actually got a video, of me surrounded by the cops, and she sends a picture to my mom and my dad, and they're like, what happened? What happened? Did they confiscate your tamales or something? And so then he's like, hey, have you ever been to the firehouse? And I was like, yeah, because that's something people typically do is go to the firehouse. I was like, no. He was like, follow me. So we finished loading up. He takes me the back entrance to the firehouse, like where you need a code and everything. We pull up to the firehouse, and he's like, come on in. And so I follow him into the firehouse, and they give me like a little tour of the firehouse and the fire department's. Is
it nice in there?
Yeah, it's nice. They have like 12 recliners or something, and a big screen TV. And they had the game. They had college football going on at the time, and they were kicked back watching the game, and they were like, yeah, hook us up.
Get paid to kick it and watch the game. I wish.
Yeah. He was like, we'll be over here on Sunday. And I'm like, was that an invite?
Right.
So I was like, because I will come watch the game here. This is a nice setup.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, that was my little adventure on Saturday. It was really funny. It was really funny though. So, you have anything go on this past weekend? How's business been?
It's been picking up. So, slowly but surely, it's been picking up. I'm happy, but I'm tired.
I know you've been moving, girl.
I have been packing. I feel like I have a lot of stuff, but I don't, but I do, but I don't. And I've officially reached the point where I'm like, I don't want nothing. Just get rid of it.
That's how I was.
I'm like, do I really want this?
Nope.
Nah.
Nope.
I've hit that point. Like, I don't want to pack no more. I don't. I don't. So, I'm tired, but I've been pushing it every night because I've been cooking and then with soccer practice and then we come back and I'm ready like to shower and lay down, but I'm like, no. All right, let me get this done. Okay, let me do this. All right, let me get this done. So every night I kind of been pushing it to my limit. So I'm off the rest of the weekend from tomorrow on out. So we're going to knock it out this weekend because we have to be out by Sunday. So, yeah. Wish me luck, but I don't have anything interesting going on besides soccer. And
How's Dalen liking soccer?
He's loving it.
Good.
The other day, he was like, I love playing soccer. It's so fun. He got mad because he didn't have practice. He was like, I want to go to practice. And I was like, who are you? I was like, thank you, Lord.
Liking his team? Is it a good team so far?
So far, yeah. The coach is actually a decent coach, not just a, y'all go kick the ball and figure it out. Or not a hothead.
Hopefully not a hothead.
He tries to make sure he's involving all the kids and making sure all the kids get to touch the ball and participate in the exercise that they're doing. So I'm loving it so far. And Dalen's actually loving it. So
good.
I'm like, good. I'm loving this for you, Dalen. I was like, it's making my heart happy. So he's doing good. We're excited. Do you know when games start? Because I don't know when games start.
I know some games have started. We don't have our first game until the 21st.
Well, we haven't even got our schedule yet. Or,
it's online.
Not that. Sorry. I know. We haven't got our uniforms yet.
Oh,
we get them Thursday.
Gotcha.
I know they have released schedules for the older kids, and then they were like Monday or Tuesday, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, something like that, should get theirs, and then I never checked again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's online. Our coach sent us the schedule. So we got uniforms, but because we already, since our team has been together, my coach, we already had uniforms, so we really didn't need uniforms, but he was like, well, since the team has stuck together, he was like, I really want to get us some nicer uniforms. And so nice. We went from blue and red to black and red, and I think they're a lot sharper. So they look nice.
I don't even know what our colors are. I don't even know. I'm not even sure.
What's your name?
I don't know. Wait, it's because our group text says one thing, and then I heard him calling them something else at practice. So I'm like, I don't even know what our team name is.
Where do y'all practice at?
Pearson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know yet. I don't know officially. Don't judge me.
Y'all practice on Thursdays though?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, twice a week.
Yeah.
What time do y'all practice on Tuesdays?
6:15 to 7. On both days.
We're there from 5:45 to 6:30. So surprised I didn't see you after this yesterday.
Oh, well, hold on. My phone is too hot. Oh, shoot. Sorry.
How's your phone getting so hot?
I don't know.
Look,
that's crazy.
Not us going off on.
Look, it's your charger.
Fine.
My sister let her borrow her charger, and I think it made her phone hot.
I don't know.
That's crazy. You're trying to blow up my phone.
Tina's phone's about to explode.
I don't know.
Did it at least charge it?
It's down to 59%, so it has to.
Yeah, it charged it, but now my phone's like, won't let me use it unless it's an emergency. That's crazy. But anyways, this week we had practice on Monday.
Kaboom.
Because there was a conflict in his work schedule.
Oh, okay.
So we practiced on Monday, not yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually they're Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
I'm glad everything's going good with that. Marcelo started, he's doing baseball, and they had their first game Saturday.
Really?
Saturday was hectic. We were so busy this past weekend.
Oh, this weekend it goes back up to 99. It's going to be 99 degrees Saturday.
Yeah, and we got a baseball game at like 10:45.
sucks because we had some beautiful fall weather for like 4 days.
Sunday was absolutely beautiful. We pulled the entire stuff out of the garage. My garage is like organized now. Organized. Like I have no excuses for not working out now. But I want to go. Look at me. I'm making excuses though. I want to order a stepper.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I want to order a stepper. So I've been looking online for one of those so that I can put that in the garage. But we have an elliptical and we have the weight machine and stuff. So
I can't even talk today. I'm tired. Sunday, we spent almost the whole day out, but we had to come home and watch the Cowboys. So
of course, they kicked butt.
If they weren't playing, we would have stayed out, but we went out and we were out all day.
And everybody thought we were going to lose. We were
not
the underdog.
The Browns, like
that's what I was seeing
That's
what I was seeing on the news. Everybody was like, "Oh, we're predicted to lose," and yada yada yada. And I'm like, to the Browns, like. But they have one of the best defenses, so...
Yeah, but they lost all the preseason games. Mm-hmm. So, absolutely not.
So, I'm not one of those fans that says, this is our year, we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm not one of those, but...
We're going to the Super Bowl this year.
Look, see, this is why people hate the Cowboys fans, because of that
you
right there.
You gotta manifest it!
But...
Not enough of us are manifesting it. That's why we haven't made it back yet.
Not you blaming us. I blame Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Bottom line. But anyways, I wish them the best. I hope we have a great season. I love football season. It's one of my favorite times of the year.
Me too.
I need to go up in my attic and pull out a hoodie or 2 or 3 or maybe all 30 of them because I have a bunch of hoodies.
Yep.
Because I'm ready for that weather. I'm ready for hoodie
the
weather.
Weather teased us for a few days, and now we're back to summer this weekend. So
yeah, it was nice going outside in the morning when to take the boys to school, and it was like, ooh,
a little chilly.
It's a little chilly.
I was like on Sunday. I was like, I just want to sit outside with like a cup of coffee and just sit out here like an old lady. And he was like, there's nothing wrong with that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, it just makes me want to sit outside with a cup of coffee because it feels so good.
I need to get some like outdoor furniture. Yeah, so that I can do that.
Sit porch watch people with their cup of coffee.
When I leave for the morning,
yes.
It's like 57 degrees out.
Well, it's not going to be 57 degrees no more when you're leaving for work.
No.
Not at all. But today is sadly the anniversary of 9/11.
Yes. Where were you?
I was going to ask you that first, ma'am.
23 years.
So I was
old.
I know. I'm 42 years old. I was
23.
I was an adult already, but I remember
23? 13.
Yeah.
No. 2001.
It happened in 2001.
23.
It happened 9/11/2001. What?
I told you my brain is not braining today.
Okay, let's think about where we were.
I know where I was.
Okay.
Minnesota was like 23 years ago. It felt like 5.
Makes you feel old,
10.
huh?
Very. Okay, sorry. Where were you?
So, at that time, I told you I got married very young for my first marriage, and this is when I was living in good old Anson, Texas. Shout out to Anson, Texas. If you know, you know. The town is populated by all of not enough people. It has one stoplight, literally one stoplight. The big news was when we got a Sonic.
Oh, wow.
That was big news.
And the whole city employed it.
You had to drive 30 minutes-ish to the nearest Walmart.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
So... no. That's why Cindy always has to be within about 10 minutes max to a Walmart. Anyways, even though I don't like to go shopping at Walmart, I want to be able to get my orders, yes. But anyways, I was living in Anson, Texas, and I was actually enrolled. I was going to school. I was a full-time student at that time. I was going to school, college. Mm-hmm. At that time, I thought I was going to be a web designer, and I was going to school for web design. And I was getting ready for school, and my father-in-law at the time called me and was like, you need to turn on the news. I don't think you're going to have class today.
That's scary.
And I was like, what happened? And so I turn on the news, and I see this was just barely the first tower that had gotten hit. And they lived very close by, so I got in the car and went directly over there. All day was just in front of the TV. Mm-hmm. Saw the second tower come down live on TV.
That's crazy.
So I was 23 years ago. How old was I? I was 42. I'm 42. So
23, so 21?
That's no. That's not right.
19?
And I was like 19. Yeah.
My math is off. I ain't mathing today.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was like 19. So, if I was 19, you were still in high school.
I was actually in middle school.
Oh.
I was
she just made me feel real
How
old.
old are you?
I'm 36. But I was in 8th grade. I was in history class when it happened, coincidentally. And we
Not her in 8th grade making me feel old. I was in college.
In 8th grade.
I was in, like, younger than that.
Oh, I know. You barely even out of diapers.
I was gonna say she wasn't even aware of what was going on.
I was in, like, 3rd grade.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew what was happening.
I was in 8th grade history class, and I know some smaller towns and some schools, they didn't switch classes in middle school, but we did. We had like 7 periods, and we didn't switch classes, and they turned on the news, and we sat in that class the rest of the day, and people were getting picked up, but not me. But some of my classmates were getting picked up by parents and stuff. But yeah, we sat there and we watched it all day. And my mom said she was home and she sat there and she watched it. I was like, you didn't come get me?
I was going to say, why didn't she come get you? She
No.
was I mean, I get it. Like, it wasn't happening here. So,
Yeah.
or, you know.
I didn't get picked up, but some of my classmates were.
Tina's mama said, you aight.
You're all right. It's not a threat over here. If it's a threat, then I'll come get you. But yeah, that's where I was. Have you been there since? To the site?
I'm not. New York isn't a place that I want to go.
You have to go.
New York is not my cup of tea. I'm not an East Coast girl. I'm a West Coast girl, not an East Coast girl.
So we went, and the site is like, you can feel, it's like it's a feeling. It's just a weird, surreal, calm presence.
I'll watch it on TV.
It's awesome. No, you gotta go. It's amazing. We went, and I liked it. It was just like where you go. It's like you walk into the area where the buildings were, and it's just like.
But I get that feeling like when I watch stuff about it. So I'm like, oh, that's sad. Like, you know, like I don't feel like
that's sad.
Yeah, I mean not like that, but you know what I mean. Like I don't feel. But I'm that way when it comes to people who pass anyways. Like, I don't feel like when my grandfather passed, like, I'm not a person who feels like I have to go to the cemetery in order to visit him. I feel like he's with me all the time.
Yeah.
So, I think people
New York
are different.
in general, though.
It just looks dirty.
It is.
Exactly. I'd rather go to the beach.
It is.
No, I'm good. I don't have to go to New York. I'm good. My son wants to go to New York. Marcelo, he's like, he wants to.
The Statue of Liberty.
Me and Sel are going to New York. I want to go.
Nah.
Yes.
You're not taking my son.
Should go.
He can go when he's old enough to go. I
He's
don't
old
think
enough to go.
I'm still going to go with him. No, I'm just kidding.
We ice skated outside.
Oh,
We can't do that here in Texas.
Yeah, you can.
We did it. Okay, we did it. I skated outside. And in Grapevine, what's it called?
Grapevine Mills?
No.
Oh, the Gaylord?
The Gaylord. But guess what? We had jackets off. We were like sweating because it was so not cold outside.
But you ice skated outside.
No, different. And we visited the area where Home Alone was filmed. And, oh, Cindy, you have to go. I want to go one year around Christmas time when they do the Christmas tree lighting and all of that.
Your husband said to tell the Statue of Liberty story. Look, he's on my TikTok. I'm just repeating what he said.
Okay. So we went to New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had the perfect hotel. When I say the perfect hotel, like it was walking distance from Central Park, from Times Square. We really didn't have to get on the train anywhere. We did when we went to the Bronx. But other than that, we could walk everywhere. Well, we found this bar down the street from us that the drinks they weren't too expensive, but they weren't really cheap, but they were good. And the bars there stayed open till like 4 o'clock or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the days that we were there, we went to a sex museum. Under the sex museum, they had a bar. Okay?
Now that I would go to.
And it was really fun. Inside the sex museum, they had a bounce house that were full of boobies. Anyways. Actually, the sex museum was really cool. It was really interesting. They had a lot of history about birth control and all kinds of stuff. But anyways, when you get out underneath, there's a bar. So we're like, let's check it out. Well, they had really cheap drinks. We're like, fuck it. They're cheap. Why not?
Right.
And they were strong. Okay. Well, we drank just as much there as we usually do at the other bar. Then we leave. And this one was a little bit further from our hotel, the sex museum was, because we did have to get on the train to get there. So we start walking to where you have to go down to get into the train. And we're like, there's Times Square. We can walk. Yeah, we walked probably like an hour. Why?
Drunk?
Yeah. Why? I have no idea. And I had on Converse. Yeah, my feet were hurting. So the next morning, we had already bought tickets to visit the Statue of Liberty. So we get up and we're like, should we go? Because we're like not completely hungover, but we're hungover. And I was like, yeah, we're going to go because we bought tickets. So we get up, we get ready. Then it starts hitting us. And we're like, oh, I don't feel good. And we already had we had a ticket for those, those double-decker buses?
Mm-hmm. How long ago was this? Like
the year he proposed, so 2017.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he proposed to me in Times Square also. When we went.
So sweet.
So okay, that bus, we had a ticket. It's called hop on, hop off as many times as you want. So we hopped on, and I was like, we got to get off because I'm about to throw up. So we got off, and I was like, the air just made me feel better. I'm like, okay, let's walk. And then I'm like, okay, let's get back on. So we got back on, rode a little bit more, and I'm like, we got to get off because I'm going to throw up. So then we get off again, start walking. And this time I'm like, okay, where they're going to drop us off at, it's not far. So then we start walking to where the ferry picks you up to go to the Statue of Liberty. And as soon as we get there, I'm like, I'm going to go to the restroom. I'm like, as long as I throw up, I'll be fine. And he's like, okay. And I'm in there, there's babies crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, my head. And it's one of those, I'm so hungover, I can't throw up. And I'm like, okay, I'm okay. So then I go and we sit. And we're sitting there in silence. We're not even talking to each other. We're just sitting there next to each other like, Then the lady's like, all right, the ferry's about to be here. I need to scan everybody's tickets. And as she's like going in the line, she's getting to us. We look at each other. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to make it on that ferry across this water without getting sick. And so he's like, I don't want to go. I was like, me either. And so we didn't go. We walked our happy ass to the little rail. We're like, you see it? I see it. There it goes. And we went back to the hotel. We had to get off again before we made it to the hotel because I felt sick again. And I was like, I need to eat. And there was a McDonald's right there. I couldn't even go in the McDonald's because the smell was making me sick. He went in, he got McDonald's, we went back to the room. I laid down and I knocked out. I didn't even eat. Then I woke up because I took a bite and I couldn't eat.
Then she woke up like at 9 p.m. ready to go again.
No, I woke up there like around 4 or something, and then I was ready to go. I was like, all right, I'm better now. I just needed to sleep it off. But we never got to go into the Statue of Liberty. I bought the whole ticket because you can buy a ticket to just go and see it, or you can buy the ticket that goes inside of her and you get to go to the top. I bought those tickets. Yeah, didn't get to do it. And I never requested a refund either because I was just too out of it. But don't drink cheap drinks because we were drinking every night till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning over there, and we were up by like 8, 9 o'clock every morning. Fine, like we just drank some Starbucks and we went on about our day. Like we didn't even drink the night before. That night, we're like, no wonder the drinks were so cheap. They used cheap liquor.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
we didn't think about it. We're like, cheap drinks? Woohoo, let's do it.
Lesson learned.
That's the story.
Lesson. That was a good story, though.
But New York was amazing. It was fun. We did a lot. We were there 5 or 6 days, and we still didn't do everything I wanted to do. I want to go back.
Eh.
We went to the Brooklyn Bridge. Let me tell you about that story. We went to the Brooklyn Bridge, right? And we're walking, and I'm like, I want to go because you can go all the way across the Brooklyn Bridge walking on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they have vendors on the bridge, all that. So we're walking. I'm like Snapchatting, taking pictures, all that. I'm like enjoying it. We get almost to the middle, and he grabs me. He's like, look down. And I'm like, why? He's like, look down. You look down, and there's cracks like in between the bridge, and you can see all the cars like just driving by. And I was like, why? Why would you tell me to look down? Now I can't even make it. I just grabbed him. I'm like, let's go. Let's turn around. And I had to go back down the road. I could not make it. I couldn't. I tried. I was like, okay, hold on.
But
I
look,
can do it.
nothing's happened to the Brooklyn Bridge
It
since then. So
he should have told me to look down. Would have been fine. But he told me to look down, and he
so
ruined it.
you would be one of those people that could never go. Like, have you seen those things where, like, they're really, really high and it's all glass on the
No,
bottom?
I do want to
see?
do that. They have that in Chicago.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
The Grand Canyon. It goes over the edge, and it's all glass, and you can see into the Grand Canyon.
I'd be able to do it, but he kind of just ruined it. I just couldn't get myself together. That's one of those things, like, I have to get myself together and I can do it. But, yeah, I couldn't do it no more. I tried.
Boo.
I know.
What
Now
did
we
it-
have to go back.
What about it freaked you out?
I don't know. It just made me nervous and it made me, no. I was like, oh my gosh, there's cars. I can see in between the cracks. Like, what if something happens? And then, yeah.
Yeah, you can go with me. I'm gonna drag you across that bridge.
I'll jump on your back and you're going to have to carry me. That's fine. But I couldn't. My feet were not working to go that way anymore. Oh.
But yeah, back to
I don't even know what started all this.
because we're talking about 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
Squirrel.
This is why we don't record in the middle of the week.
Right? That's why we're calling it Wacky Wednesday, because we never know what's going to happen. Your husband said it's because there's a train under
Was it a train?
cars.
He didn't make no sense.
Yeah. Hold
See
on.
what happens when you type too fast?
The cracks are big enough for your phone to fall.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
That's all I needed to know.
It was a little bitty, like, yeah.
I thought they were like small cracks. No, they were big cracks.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
if you're just walking, it's fine.
No.
But the fact that he made me stop and look, and I'm like, fuck, no, we're going back this way.
Yeah, no, I'd have been going back with you. Nope, not doing that.
I
Better
wanna
put
go
a
do it.
harness on me or something.
I want to go do it again, but this time I'll be mentally prepared to do it.
You gonna walk the whole bridge?
She's gonna
Yes.
get to the edge and be like, nope.
No, ma'am. I'll make a bet with you. Okay, we're going together because Cindy don't want to go.
No, I'll go to California. I'll go to LA or something, or San Francisco.
That's
the
my
wineries.
next- I want to go to San Francisco.
That's my favorite place to go visit. I love San Francisco. The wineries,
I want to go visit the
Napa
Full
Valley,
House.
Sonoma Valley. It was great. Cindy may or may not have gotten a little tipsy just doing the wine tasting
I'm
stuff.
sure.
It was great. I love me some red wine. Love it.
Okay, so I have a subject I want to talk about. Okay, so last weekend, not this past Sunday, but last weekend, when I went to Houston for Labor Day,
Mm-hmm.
on the way back, and I've been to Houston 5,000 times, okay?
Can't stand Houston, by the way.
On the way back, when you're going through Huntsville, there's a Texas prison museum. And I've seen it a million times. And I'm always like, oh, we should go. Oh, we should go. Well, we were trying to make the best out of our 24-hour vacation trip, right? So before we
Oh,
started
I did see that y'all went. Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
Googled it, and it was like $7 to get in, and kids were free. And I was like, and right when I seen it, I was like, oh, it's only $7. And we're passing it. I'm like,
Go back.
let's turn around. So we turned around and we went, and it was really interesting. It's pretty cool. I took pictures. There's this story that I actually want to tell on TikTok Live. I forgot the name of who. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I can get on my phone now. I actually got this shirt, this Bonnie and Clyde shirt from there. They have some of the original weapons from Bonnie and Clyde.
You know, I think maybe it's just age or something, but like when we went to Yellowstone last year, we went to the National Military Transportation or Vehicle. I think it was the National Military Vehicle Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was going to be like boring.
Yeah.
It actually was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where it is exactly, but if you get a chance to go there, it's a lot bigger than what you think it's going to be. Like they have so many tanks,
Mm-hmm.
like from different eras, Jeeps, trucks. I mean,
Really?
it's just really cool to see and they set it up really nice to where there's different things that keep you intrigued with it.
Yeah.
So I think when you find museums like that,
And there's one right behind it, right next to it. It's like I can't remember, some type of veterans museum.
mm-hmm,
I didn't look into it because the kids were already ready to go. Because we spent a little bit over an hour in that museum. And it's not big at all. But we spent some time in there. And then we didn't bring a stroller for Illy. If we would have brought a stroller for her, we would have probably been in there a lot longer. Because there's so many things to actually read. But yeah, we had to get her out. And then when we were driving off, I seen like right behind us, like something Veterans Museum. But you also reminded me just now, on the way to Houston, I can't tell you exactly where, maybe an hour past Ennis. I think it's an hour from here. They're creating a museum or something. But anyways, it's a bunch of old school cars. And I like old school cars.
mm-hmm.
I might have to drive back to Houston to see, but they had a big old sign. It was like coming soon, blah, blah, classic cars and all this.
I love classic cars.
Yeah.
I want a 69 or 70 SS El Camino. That's my dream car.
Yeah. So I know it's about an hour drive because I think when I looked at the time, I was like, let me remember how far it was from home. And I think it was like about an hour. So, but one of the stories is called 11 Days in Hell. And it's the story of, what is his name? Convict Fred Carrasco. I'm not going to tell the story, but they had each like day, what happened on day 1 all the way to 11. And it was a really interesting story. And I had to Google him to figure out who he was, what was the story, because I had never heard of it. And they had weapons that was used. Basically they had a standoff with him in Huntsville. Yeah, it was really, really interesting. But the whole point of me bringing that up was, do you agree with the death penalty?
I think there's certain circumstances. There's times where I do, and there's times where I don't. There's times where I think that somebody should suffer the way that they cause somebody else to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, my tax dollars, your tax dollars are going to keeping them alive. So I am a full believer in the death penalty. I think that they should be taken out of this world. I think that the way that they're taken out is a lot nicer than what I would choose for them, because I think you should be taken out the way that you took the life of whoever, why you're in prison for to begin with. But I am not, the only person that can judge you is God.
Right.
So, with that being said, I do believe in the death penalty, and I think that they should be taken out of this world so that they can meet their maker. Yes. That's my opinion.
So I actually bought a book from there, and it's called An Eye for an Eye. And it's talking about the death penalty and a lot of things that are going on. It's like people, like in politics, they're trying to get rid of it. And I'm still in the beginning of this book because I've been busy packing and everything. I read it once we left and we got the kids situated, I was sitting there reading it. But yeah, a lot of people are outvoting the death penalty. Like it's almost at 50-50. And I was like, that's crazy. But I have to keep reading it. But my biggest thing is, why do inmates, convicts, whatever you want to call them, on death row get the ability to choose their last meal?
I guess it's
that drives me crazy. You shouldn't get a choice. You shouldn't even get a last meal. You
I
are
guess
lucky that you were fed up until this day.
Yeah. I guess it's just the
humanity.
Yeah.
No, fuck no. You didn't have humanity for whoever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's them trying to be better than the person that's in there. That's just the way it's...
I feel you, Tina. I feel you on that. I don't think they should be able to either, because these guys go in there, or women, there's women too, that get big old meals and they go out, nice big old tummy because they had a nice good meal. But no,
I don't know if this book talks about that, but that's something that's always bothered me. It's like, why? Oh, in the museum they had a few letters from inmates that were on death row that had their last meal request. And
it had it in there, like what they requested?
Their actual letter, what they wrote and requested. Like, these people were requesting all kinds of stuff. Like, first of all, you couldn't even really eat that in one sitting. So why?
Why request? Yeah, they just go, that's what I mean, they go over and beyond.
The way that they got their last meal was if you had enough money on your books to pay for it, then you could have it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So because the only way you get it, you can get only what your books will cover.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So it's like your family or friends paying for it. But still, I feel like that's not fair, because there's this one story in the book that I'm reading about this man who was on death row for raping this little girl. Sorry, trigger warning. I'm like, sorry, trigger warning.
See, that goes into, I don't think that they should be able to get...
And he buried this little girl alive.
Nope. Then they need to do the same. See, we're going into a whole different thing, because when you deal with children...
Yeah.
That's a trigger for me. Like...
Yeah.
You should be taken out of this world the way that you took... The way you treated that child.
I feel like I hate that death row takes... You can sit on death row for like 20 years. Why?
And
Why
that,
should we
I hate that too.
Long?
But there's been people who have been proven, but this goes back from back in the day before they had DNA, before they had all this testing, that were proven innocent because of DNA.
Yeah.
Does that happen all the time? No.
No, but this book that I'm reading, keep going back to this book. I'm going to have to bring it on the next episode, but there's been a lot of people that have been convicted wrongly convicted and served time when they were innocent, right? But the number of people that have been put on death row and they were innocent is like almost slim to none. Like, it's hard to prove that there was actually people that
but they have to, and I think the reason that they stay on death row so long is because they have to give them time to appeal. And the way our court systems go, it takes forever for them to appeal, and then appeal again, and then appeal again. And then if you got the right attorney, you can appeal I don't know how many times.
I felt like Kim K. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get into prison reform and go to school and figure this all out. I was like, I'm going to be the next Kim K.
But do you want to, so you want to help save the ones?
I want there to be justice for everybody. Like, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. I think Texas is completely screwed and backwards. I think that
it's because we're a conservative state.
People for selling drugs get more time than murderers.
It's because we're a conservative state.
See, and I don't agree with that. And then a lot of the Texas prisons, first of all, we're in Texas. A lot of Texas prisons are not livable, especially in the summer. And people, I get it, you're a criminal, but you're still human. And I'm not talking about the people on death row, because you can fucking suffocate for all I fucking care. But
you're talking about the people doing 10 to 15 for whatever.
Yeah, like
yeah, burglary.
It's just
But it's all our system's so screwed up. I mean, we've got people in there, like you said, they've killed somebody, and they're out in 10 to 15. Right. You've got somebody in for possession, and they're doing 25.
Yeah, exactly. I don't agree with that.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I know the people that do agree with that. It's like, well, when you sell drugs, you're killing people. It's like, no, nobody's making them take drugs. Like, I mean, that's with anything. The food we eat can kill us. So should we sue? What's it called? Oscar Mayer. She threw me off over here. Her belly. Should we sue Oscar Mayer Wiener? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
But, I mean, I don't know.
That was only one topic that I wrote down. I was like, why do they get their last meal? This is what they always say. Oh, irritates me.
With that subject, they did away. Oh, I don't know how long ago, but I know Texas was the last state to do away with the electric chair.
Yeah. Oh, they had the electric chair there. They had the actual electric chair there.
I'm betting she sat in it.
No, I would have.
I would have too.
But they had it blocked off.
I would have sat in it too.
Because my opinion is they should bring it back. I'm sorry, but there are bad people in this world that deserve a little bit of a flickering of the switch.
Yeah.
But
I'd play with it.
That's what I mean.
I would.
She's like, I don't know. But, I mean,
how's that feel, huh? Like it? No? Want me to stop?
But do y'all feel it should come back and be used? I mean,
yeah, I think
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's what I'm saying. The lethal injection is a nice way out.
Yeah.
Granted, it's still painful and they still feel, but one of the three, I think it's 3 injections. It's either 3 or 4 injections that they give you is like a numbing thing. So
really,
yeah.
The other one's a sedative, and then the other
one
stops your heart.
Yeah. So it's still. I mean, yeah, you still feel, I'm sure, a portion of it, but to me, the lethal injection's just too nice.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying,
especially for some of these people who are in for, hurting children, and that's my biggest thing. Like, killing somebody in general is wrong, but hurting an innocent child is probably the worst thing you can do.
Well, let me
as a
read
human
you
being.
These statistics from the electric chair. So if I can zoom, oh my Jesus. Okay.
I broke her phone, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It says between 1924 and 1964, 361 men were executed by the Texas prison system utilizing the electric chair. Prior to 1924, each sheriff of the respective Texas county in which a jury yielded a sentence of death was responsible to complete the sentence. That method was the gallows of a hangman's noose. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
They used to hang people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then between 1965 and 1972... Oh, yeah. Okay, so between 1965 and 1972, it says no executions were carried out in the United States due to an initial voluntary moratorium while awaiting the outcome of a review by the U.S. Supreme Court to determine whether the penalty of death was a cruel and unusual punishment. Then in 1972, the United States Supreme Court ruled the death penalty to be unconstitutional, and the death penalty was abolished.
See, this is my problem. Where they want to say that it's unconstitutional, whatever, it's against human rights to, carry through the death penalty or whatnot. They didn't give a shit about the person they were killing or hurting or harming or whatever, torturing, whatever they did. So, my opinion, you lose your human rights. You lose any rights to the Constitution when you did what you did. When you were found guilty of whatever crime it was and they sentenced you to death, you lost those rights.
Exactly. That's how I
feel.
That's
my opinion.
It says Texas adopted the lethal injection as the means of sentence of death would be carried out in 1977. The first lethal injection in the U.S. occurred in 1982, and that was here in Texas. So it shows that executions by electric chair from 1924 to 1964, 63% were black men, 7% were Hispanic men, 30% were white men. And then it says executions by lethal injection from 1982 to March 23, 36%. Oh, well, it says 212 were black men, 3 were black women, 111 were Hispanic men, 263 were white men, and 3 were white women. Yep.
Interesting.
It's a really interesting museum. So
now, you're not going to know this just off the top of your head, but your opinion on this is what I'm looking for more, and I'm going a certain direction when I bring this up. So with all the things happening in schools right now, and I bring this up, like I said, because I'm going somewhere with it. With everything going on with the schools, most of the time, the person harming the other students in the school, usually they don't make it out alive. This last one, he did. Him and his dad are now facing prison time. Do you think that the person that did it, because he's a minor, do you think he should get the death penalty for that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Even though he's a minor?
Because he didn't care that the kids in the schools were minors.
What about the dad?
So I don't always agree that the parent. Well, I don't even know. I didn't even look into this. So how is the dad involved, or is he just being punished?
They gave him. Well, and this is the thing that I was looking into a little bit because I hadn't heard anything about the mom, but apparently he was given the gun. From his parents. Like they gave it to him. Okay. And from what I understand, and I could be wrong, in my facts on this, the mom apparently called to the school beforehand, warning that the son was talking about doing this. So, and this is where I'm going with this. This past week, this week, it's only Wednesday, but every day this week, there have been posts, and if y'all don't listen to us, if you're outside of Texas or outside of the DFW area, I know this has been going on, I think, pretty much statewide. There have been lockdowns. There have been schools who have actually closed. There have been text messages, emails, all sorts of notifications going out to parents this week. Every day this week, I have gotten a notification in some sort of manner from my district saying that either they were on lockdown or that they were investigating. Because there's a picture or a Snapchat, or I don't know I've seen the images of it, but it's a picture of a guns, and it's got different names of schools on there. One of them said Red Oak High School. One of them said DeSoto, I think Duncanville, South Oak Cliff. But it's happening all over the state. And more than likely it's kids doing it, sending, because they don't want to go to school because they think it's going to these kids don't know what they're doing by doing this, because there's so many things happening that us as parents, us as adults, we have no other emotion or no other way to react but to either pull our kids out, to shut the schools down. I mean, you don't want to go to school, don't go to school. Like, there's no reason to scare people into this kind of to shut a whole school down because you don't feel like going to school is ridiculous. Right.
Now, I don't, so like for that situation, I think the kids behind these threats, these Instagrams and Snapchats and Facebooks that are making these posts, I think that they should be punished. And I don't necessarily think that their parents should be punished unless it was like a situation. Because like I said, I didn't look into that situation with that boy. Mm-hmm. But now that you said that the parents provided the gun and the mom knew ahead of time, yeah, no. Everybody should have consequences. But this also goes back to your kids are not your friends. Your kids are your kids. And be right a parent, there. And you have to let them know. I mean, my kids know. I mean, they're 17 and 19 now, but even in middle school, you don't play around like that. You don't say stuff like that. Whatever you put on the internet is there forever. Yep. And if you end up doing something like that, whatever consequences happen are on you. Yep. And don't expect mommy to come save you, because I'm not going to save you because you don't do shit like that, you know? Yep. It comes back to the parents. Like, maybe you should have parented better, but I've said this before. My kids aren't perfect. They've done some things where I'm like, who raised you like that? Like, why would you go and do that? I've raised you better. So they've done some things where I'm like, don't ever do that again. But not to that extent. Like, right. You know, just active out of character. Like, they didn't have no home training stuff, you know? And I got onto them for that. Like, don't act like that. You don't ever act like that, because it makes it look like I'm not doing my job. Like, I didn't teach you better. So I'm not going to completely blame the parents, like, oh, you're not having these conversations with your kids, because they may be. But I feel, we've talked about this before too. Social media is a huge influence on our kids today. And I feel like social media is raising our kids, and parents should know that. They should be aware of that. Like, be your kid's parent before you are their friend. Like, if they don't like you, oh, well, I always tell my kids, you're fine. You can be mad at me all day. I still love you.
Now, I see, in going into that, I see a lot of things on TikTok, you know, and I know a lot of it is scripted. I know that. Yeah. But there's some things that aren't scripted, where there's kids throwing tantrums, and I just want to reach through the phone and beat the hell out of the kid. Because obviously your parent is not teaching you any act right. Yeah. And, you know, it's just ridiculous, because, like you said, you're not your kid's friend. I'm sorry, that may, you know, offend people. You're not your kid's friend. You need to be their parent. And that's what's wrong with society nowadays. Too many parents want to be their kids' friends. Right. And they're not parenting correctly. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm on my kids all the time. They're only 9 and 6, and I'm on them all the time, because you're not going to be, you're not going to have no act right. You're not going to be mouthing off. Now, you're not going to be intimidated by people either. Right. There's so many things that you have to watch out for. You don't want your kids to be the ones that are being bullied. You don't want them to be the ones bullying. You don't. It's exhausting. It is, and it's exhausting letting you know once they get teenagers and they start feeling like they know everything. And I'm not ready. I want them to stay the way they are right now. Yeah. I don't want them to get any bigger. Be prepared, Cindy. It's a lot of fun. No. I'm not ready for the girlfriends. Yeah. I'm not ready for the back talk. I'm not ready for the, you know, right now I'm all of, 5'3", so I'm little. And I know it's only a matter of time before my oldest is taller than me, because he's already, like, I think he's 4 foot something. Yeah, he's almost there. He's almost there. So I'm not looking forward to the times where he's taller than me and I'm, like, looking up trying to, check him. But he's gonna. I'm like, I don't care how tall you get, I still whoop your ass. Exactly. I'm not looking forward to that.
You put enough fear in him, because to this day, I am 5'10", 5'11". All my tias are shorter than me, and I'm terrified of them. Yeah. Oh, I do the same thing to her though. I'm always She's always bugging up to me, and I'm like. She's so much taller than me, and I'm just like Mighty Mouse, I'm like, come on. Like, I could just put my hand on her and hold her back, but it's still the fact that I'm. You think that? I'll take your knees out. I'll take your knees out. You think you can put your hand? You're gonna be putting your hand out, and I'm gonna be taking your knees out. That's what you think.
But yeah, it's scary getting these notifications every single day. And I go on Facebook, and then now I don't even want to go on Facebook because that's all I'm seeing on my feed are parents, what's going on here? What's going on there? Is this real? Is this not? And the school districts are doing a really good job. I will give them their props. They're doing a really good job of relaying that information back. Mm-hmm. My fear, though, is because a lot of the school districts do not allow the kids to have their phones.
Yep.
Why? I get that it's a distraction during school, but with everything going on, that's my way of communicating with my child. All I need from them, if something was to happen, all I would need from them is a text back, I'm okay.
I'm okay. Mm-hmm.
That's all.
And even at that, having their location and seeing exactly
seeing the movement or something. Yeah.
No, I agree. That's why when my kids would get in trouble in school for having their phone and the teachers would try to take it, I would tell my kids to tell them no. I'm like, do not give your phones to those teachers. Tell them to call me, email me, blah, blah. I'm like, don't argue with them. Don't get disrespectful. But simply put it in your pocket. They're not going to go in your pocket and take it from you.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to get an email. When I get that email, we're going to handle it at home. And I'll correct you because you know better. You shouldn't be on your phone. But it's not. I've also told them it's not your past, like, well, I'm going to be on my phone because I ain't got to give it to you anyways. Because my mom said, no, it's not that. It's are you supposed to be on it? No, then you need to put it up. If you get told to get off of it, then get off of it, See,
my son, so my oldest is the only one that I've let take his phone to school.
Yeah.
He hasn't taken it this year, but he did tell me that the teacher told them at the beginning of the school year, if you have a phone, I have to take it.
No. I can't do it. Nope.
Exactly. Mm-mm. So when he did take his phone last year, or any year, because he's had his phone for a couple of years now, it would always be in his backpack. Yeah. I would tell him, it stays in your backpack unless of an emergency. You know where it's at.
Yeah.
Because I would tell him, you put it away, make sure that it's on silent so it's not disturbing, making any noises during class, but you know where it's at in case you need it, in case something happens. And he didn't get his phone until after, he's only 9.
Yeah.
But the only reason he got it was because after the Uvalde shooting.
Yeah.
And those were elementary kids. It's not just high schools anymore. It's elementary schools now as also. And that's what's scary.
And it sucks that we have to live like that. The
world we live in, it's a scary,
I've seen a lot
place.
of people asking about homeschooling lately too.
So, my bonus daughter, the one that just had the baby not too long ago, Raquel, her senior year, she did homeschooling because it was right after COVID. And so she had already done homeschooling because of COVID. And then she was like, I really don't want to go back to school. Can I just do homeschool for my senior year? Uh-huh. And I was like, are you sure? Like, that's your senior year. But she never really had a bunch of friends. She was not the person going out partying. She just wasn't. She was more of a homebody.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, really. She was like, I'm fine. She was like, I don't want to walk across stage. She didn't want to do none of that. She didn't want to do none of the senior stuff. Yeah. So she was like, can I just do K through 12? And I was like, well, what's that? Or K-12 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And so I looked into it and I was like, okay, if that's what you want to do. It was great. She loved it. She was usually done with school. She was able to do school at her time, you know, whenever she wanted to. Mm-hmm. But she passed. She did great in school because I was able to see all her grades and everything. She would pass. She did all her assignments like she was supposed to on her terms, I guess. And she graduated just fine.
My biggest advice to anybody looking to put their kids into homeschool, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody, and it depends on your kid's age. My son, he's almost done. And he wasn't expected to be done till September of next year. And it's self-paced too. He can get on at any time. He didn't do work for a few months. And I wasn't mad because I know him. And I knew that he would get it done. I mean, I would be on him like, don't slack too much because then you're going to get too comfortable not doing work and you're going to get way behind. But I knew he was really self-sufficient. I knew he could do it. Now, if my oldest one would have asked, I would have been like, no, you're not going to get it done. I know you.
There's some kids that can do it, some that can't.
You need someone right there with you. And my other one, I knew he'll be like, yeah, I got it. I'm going to knock it out. So, yeah, it's not for everybody. Either your kid has to be self-sufficient or you have to have the time to constantly be on your child, checking their work, making sure that they're getting stuff done. So it just really depends on the kid.
Yeah.
And he's doing Penn Foster. So, I mean, I like it. It's simple. It's easy. Self-paced. They give you so much time. And they even have college, I think.
Oh, really?
Classes. But, yeah.
Alrighty, guys.
We have reached our time.
I know. I think I was looking at this. I'm like, dang, we really did. For being a Wacky Wednesday, we had a lot of stuff to cover. We will not be recording this Sunday, but we will be back on the 22nd. Is it the 22nd?
The 22nd, yes. Because, well, this Sunday is the 15th.
Okay, so yeah. Yes. I'll be back on the 22nd. Tina will not be here. She has better things to do than to come do the podcast with me, apparently.
Actually, the 21st is both my son's 18th birthday and my husband's birthday. They have the same birthday.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm taking my son to get a tattoo on the 22nd.
Oh, so fun.
We're celebrating birthdays that weekend, you guys. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll be here, hopefully with a guest co-host. And we'll go from there, but
stay tuned.
That's all we've got for now, and stay tuned, guys. We will talk to you in a week and a half.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.